Here again with another Breaking Bad universe review video. As in this particular video, I'm going to be doing a review of El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. But before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching the entire series of Breaking Bad, as well as El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, then I highly suggest that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. Obviously, many of you know I'm a huge Breaking Bad fan. It is my third favorite TV series of all time. I believe I've watched the show at least 8 times. It might even be 10 times. Big fan of the show. And as far as El Camino goes, I've seen it, I believe, 4 times. Maybe it's 3 times. But join me in the comments section and let's discuss the show along with the legendary Crazy Coffee Man, who's a huge Breaking Bad fan, a huge Dexter fan, and a Lucifer fanatic. So with all that said, this will be El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, and this is going to be my review of watching the movie again for at least the 4th time. So we start with the flashback of Mike and Jesse. We get lots of flashbacks in El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, which takes place before Mike tells Walt that he wants out. Mike says, only you can decide what's best for you, Jesse. Jesse asks Mike where he would go if it were him. Mike says Alaska, the last frontier. Now we are at the events taking place after the series finale of Breaking Bad. So right after Jesse screams, or actually technically the show ends with Walt, but we pick up with Jesse. So right after he screams, it's Jesse driving in Todd's El Camino, and Jesse sees the cavalry coming, so he pulls into someone's driveway and ducks down. Badger and Skinny Pete are playing a game. They're trading insults back and forth. Jesse goes to where Badger and Skinny Pete are staying, which I believe is at Skinny Pete's house, and I'm almost 99.9% sure. And Jesse bangs on the door. Skinny Pete answers, "Dude, you lost?" Skinny Pete doesn't even realize that it's Jesse Pinkman at first. And then he says, "Jesse?" And he tells him he's got to get that car off the street, and they move the car into the back of the, to the backyard of the house. And then Jesse is chowing down on some food, and then Jesse goes to crash. We see a shot of what used to be the location of Saul Goodman's office, and now it's a Duke City sports bar, and I think that's actually what it is in real life, and I'm not 100% sure. And then we also see that Twisters is what has replaced Los Poros Hermanos, of course, from season 4 and 3 of Breaking Bad. We have a press conference by Zach Raimi, of course, was one of Hank's bosses. Badger and Skinny Pete are watching it. Jesse wakes up and has some major PTSD, points a gun at Skinny and Badger. When he woke up, he saw the top of the cage that he was kept in at Jack's compound, sort of thing. Skinny's giving Jesse some clothes. Badger asks Jesse if they really kept him in the cage, and Jesse doesn't answer and gets in the shower. He even takes his gun in the shower with him. And then he has unhappy thoughts of being hosed down at Jack's place. Jesse has buzzed his head and then trimmed his beard. And Jesse gets a burner phone from Skinny Pete. And then Jesse calls old Joe's salvage yard. Go for Joe. I like Joe. He's a fun character. We didn't see much of him, but I liked old Joe. And Joe's watching the news and knows that Jesse is a suspect and is wanted. Joe comes to Skinny's place. Joe brings up the magnets. That was a good one, he says. And then Joe actually had zero confidence that would work, but live and learn, he says. And then Joe has a device that goes off. The El Camino car has a tracking device of some sort, and Joe takes off. Like, I'm not going down for this shit. Badger's taking Skinny's car and driving away, and Jesse's taking Badger's car, and Skinny will keep the El Camino right there where it is. That way, hey, they found the car, but they just didn't find who was driving the car. And then Badger tells Jesse to take care. Skinny gives Jesse his beanie. He's doing all this because Jesse is his hero and shit. Touching moment, actually, for those two characters. Skinny Pete, this makes him a stronger character, in my opinion, instead of just a kind of a moron. Although we know Badger's mainly a big-time moron. And then as Jesse drives away, here comes the cavalry again. Flashback time. Jesse's in his cage, and Todd's asking him if he's awake. Yeah, Jesse says. And then Todd lowers down Jesse a cigarette. And a lot of people were mad that Todd, the actor Jesse Plemons, gained a lot of weight. Shit happens. Don't look at somebody's weight and be like, I don't like this because the person doesn't look the same. Keep in mind, Breaking Bad ended in 2013. El Camino came out in 2019. People change. Their appearances change, you know. You know who it is. So anyway, Todd tells Jesse that we're all alone. And I need a swig of water here. And they have the whole weekend together alone. And Todd says if Jesse tries to escape, he'll have to go visit the little boy. Todd tells Jesse he's going to do a better job of keeping him clean from now on. Jesse and Todd arrive at Todd's place. Jesse helps Todd put the top on his El Camino back to present time. Jesse listens to the radio. Walter White poisoned a woman, and while she's in the hospital, she's not expected to survive. Of course, that's Lydia. That sucks. Lydia was a good character, as I just rewatched it, and I really liked her character. The broadcast also confirms that Walter White is dead. 9 people found dead, or is it 10 people, including Walter White? In present time, Jesse drives to Todd's place. Jesse gets into Todd's just before getting seen by a guy that's always lurking around, being nosy. That's Lou. Back to the Todd flashback. Todd needs help with a dead body. Sonia, the cleaning lady, is dead in Todd's kitchen. They roll her up in a rug first, and then Todd takes his belt back. Jesse asks Todd what Sonia did to him, and Sonia, she found Todd's encyclopedias that had money hidden inside of it. So that's why she had to die, because she would ask too many questions. I don't think she would have, but it is what it is, because she went right to him when she found it. And then Jesse goes to put the book back away for Todd and sees that Todd also has the tarantula that Drew Sharp had found. I guess we don't know for sure if that's the same tarantula, but we're led to believe that Todd still has the same. Maybe he had a tarantula collection, but that's the one that he found for Drew Sharp. And tarantulas live like 20 plus years. Of course, this takes place right after Breaking Bad, though. And Todd tells Jesse he needs to find a new spot to hide his money. And then in current time, Jesse's looking around Todd's place to try and find where he hid the money. Jesse sees that his parents are on the news, Adam and Diane Pinkman. And I believe that's the first time that I knew Mr. Pinkman's name. Maybe Mrs. Pinkman. I can't remember the scene where Saul gets the house for Jesse. Maybe we found out then, but I don't remember. Anyway, Mrs. Pinkman says, please come forward, turn yourself in, as a personal message to Jesse. And then back to a flashback. Sonia's body has been dumped out the window and loaded into the El Camino. Todd's singing, sharing the night together. They arrive in the desert. Sonia is buried. Todd says she was a nice lady, excellent housekeeper. And then Todd asks Jesse to grab another pack of cigarettes in the glove box for him. I had to take a water break. This is going to be a longer video because there's a lot of details in this. And when he goes to the glove box, he also finds a gun. And he has it in his hand. And Todd says, I'll take that, Jesse. And Todd says he's going to get some pizza and beer and asks Jesse what kind of pizza he likes. Pepperoni, classic. Todd likes that too. And then Jesse reluctantly gives the gun to Todd. Jesse starts to whimper. Todd comforts Jesse. Back to present time. Jesse's searching Todd's house for the money. A nice shot from above of the mess that Jesse's made trying to find the money. And then Jesse finds the money in the refrigerator, or it was actually the door, the freezer door of Todd's fridge. And then some guys wearing FBI jackets arrive. Lou's there to meet them and ask questions and be nosy like Lou does. Their names are Casey and Neil, and they search Jesse's house, and then Jesse points a gun at Casey, and Jesse says he's no cop killer. You be cool, I'll be cool. Jesse says to call your partner, and Neil says, what are you doing here, Pinkman? And then Jesse decides to give up. Jesse realizes the men aren't cops, and Jesse says he knows where the money is. Lou wants to tell them about a note that Todd left. Jesse threatens Neil to put the trigger or pull the trigger, if he does, he'll be as fucked as he is. Jesse and Neil leave Todd's apartment. Jesse looks at Neil's truck, and Jesse remembers Neil, and Neil knows it. I was wondering when you were going to remember me, and we'll get to why Jesse remembers Neil in a moment here. Jesse goes to Best Quality Vacuum, and then he isn't sure if that's the place because he's been looking at all these places that have to do with the vacuum. But then he sees the red van that pulled up to him, but then he went nuts because of the cigarette thing, the rice and cigarette. Ed's busy with a customer. He'll be with him in just a moment. And then once Ed's done with that customer, Jesse tells Ed he's looking for a Hoover Max. And then Ed actually thinks he's talking about a vacuum. And he says, check the wall. I didn't actually go into details of what he said. And then he puts the money that he got from the Todd's place on the counter. It says, you're the guy. And Jesse apologizes for not going with him on the day that he came to pick him up. And then Ed says, finally, you owe me for that last pickup. Ed says, going forward, it will require an additional $125,000. And when Jesse counts all the money that he has, including in his wallet and pocket, I don't think he had money in the wallet. I don't think he has a wallet, just in his pocket. He's $1,800 short. And then Ed packs up the money and says, Godspeed to you. Godspeed to Jesse. And Jesse says he's not going anywhere until he gets help. Ed calls the police since Jesse won't leave. Jesse didn't think he did. Because it was a quick conversation, and then he hung up the phone from them, and Jesse didn't think that was going to happen. He says he's full of crap. He faked it. He thinks Ed's got too much to lose as he does. Love that response time. The cops pull up to the front of the store, and Jesse leaves. Ed tells the cops he already left. Jesse calls Ed from his car. I'll get you your money. Jesse calls his parents' house. They're still using a corded phone, landline phone. Interesting. Now, I have a landline and still use my landline, but it's not a corded phone. The last time I think I used a corded phone was 2002, maybe 2003. But that was just kind of an extra phone to have where I didn't have to move many places. But anyway, Jesse tells them a place to pick him up at. He tells them they did their best. It was on him. All this stuff is on him. And then Jesse can see that his parents leave, along with the authorities that were kind of, staking out the place to see if he would show up there. And then Jesse enters his parents' house because he finds a key under a loose brick. Jesse gets into their safe. He takes some guns and looks up the info on Candy Welding Company in the phone book. Those are nice things. I remember those. The entertainment has arrived for Candy and Company. You have, I think, 3 escorts or strippers, or maybe they're just playing hookers. While Jesse is out in the yard, a flashback. Now we finally get the explanation of why Jesse knows Neil, as Neil was the welder that installed the equipment that kept Jesse hooked at Jack's place. And we also have Todd and Kenny in this scene. And we don't get much of Kenny, but this is what we get of him. And Kenny shows Neil, Jesse, Kenny shows Neil and Jesse this, wait a minute. So I don't know what I meant here, but irrelevant. What Kenny does is he bets Neil $50 that Jesse can break free from this rigged contraption, and Jesse is unable to do so, and Neil was pretty confident that he wouldn't be able to. And then the escorts / strippers / hookers leave. Neil and his buddies are doing cocaine and drinking. Jesse walks in, and Jesse says, I need more money. Jesse tells Neil he's not here to rob them. Jesse says he needs $1,800 and he's gone forever. Neil says Neil says that he wants to take on Jesse. Jesse's 22 that he got from his parents' safe versus Neil's 45. Winner take all. So he wants to have a duel from like the good old Western days with Jesse. And then Neil reaches for his gun, and Jesse kills Neil with the gun that he had in his pocket. And then Jesse also kills Casey, and then there's 3 other guys there, and Jesse lets them go because he looks at their IDs and, You guys do anything fishy, I'll come after and kill you all. And then Jesse has caused the building of Candy Welding Company to explode. And then we have a flashback to Jesse relaxing in a bathtub, talking on the phone with someone. Do you miss me? And then Jesse leaves his hotel room. And then Jesse knocks on room 244. And out comes Walter White. This, I'm guessing, must take place after the episode 4 days out, because, they had time still, and they mentioned something about, go eat, have a nice meal, a hot shower, or a cold shower. I don't remember what he said, but I'm guessing this takes place after 4 days out, which is one of my favorite episodes in Breaking Bad. And then Walt and Jesse go out for some food. While Jesse's at the salad bar, we get our first and only, yeah, bitch of the movie. And Walt asks how long it will take to sell this batch. And Jesse says, 6 months if we can find someone that'll buy the whole thing. And Walt wants to know if Jesse knows anyone that will buy the entire amount. And Jesse at the moment says no. Jesse tells Walt, your family will get the money that's coming to them if something happens to you. And then Walt asks Jesse, after this, what then? What will you be doing? And Walt said, just college. And Jesse says he'd study sports medicine. And Walt says business and marketing. And then Walt mentions something about a GED that Jesse will have to get. And Jesse says, I got my diploma. You were there. And Walt says if Jesse is really lucky and didn't have to wait his whole life to do something special. And I actually like that line a lot. Like, you've had your whole life and you've already done something really unique and really special early in your life. For Walt, it's took him 50 years, and he's on his deathbed, essentially, stage 4 cancer, to finally do something, but he doesn't have long time to enjoy it. And we see Ed has driven Jesse to Alaska. Jesse was in a small compartment in his truck, and Ed quizzes Jesse on his new information. Ed gives Jesse gives Ed a letter to mail to Brock, and Ed tells Jesse, good luck. Robert Forster actually died the day that this movie came out, in October 11th, was it? October 11th or October 12th of 2019 is when this came out, and he died that night. Might have been close to the next day when he died, but I believe it was still that day when this movie premiered on Netflix. And then Jesse takes off, and then Jesse sees Jane in the car as a vision. Jane says she's going to go where the universe takes her. Her whole life it's been better to make those decisions for yourself. And then Jesse is driving in a very quiet Alaska with a peaceful look on his face, and even seems like he wants to crack a smile. And that's what ends El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. So when I initially saw this, I really loved it. And actually, I'll put a link to my initial thought of El Camino right here with about 20 seconds left to go in this review video of it. I'm not as big of a fan of it anymore. It's still great. I'm glad that we got it, but this movie is mainly filled with flashbacks, and I thought this was going to be on a bigger scale, a bigger manhunt for Jesse Pinkman. So I'm going to score it an 8.3 out of 10. Still good, but my opinion is slightly changed on it. And obviously, Jesse is the character of the movie. I think the other standout character of the movie is going to be Ed, because we didn't really get a lot from Robert Forster on Breaking Bad. He was in one episode, Granite State. And the other character that kind of sat with me in this was Todd. Even though he gained a lot of weight from his time on Breaking Bad, I've gained a lot of weight since my first YouTube video because I started drinking soda again. But I don't drink a lot of it, but it still doesn't help. But maybe I'll put a link to my first YouTube video down there as well, because it's almost my anniversary. April of 18 was when my channel started. So anyway, yeah, Jesse, awesome. Ed, awesome. Todd, pretty good. So you've heard everything I have to say about El Camino, or Breaking Bad movie. Obviously, my Breaking Bad content isn't done yet. I will be re-ranking all the seasons of Breaking Bad, and I do believe that I'm going to split season 5 into 2 parts, because it was like a 5A and a 5B because how much time had passed from a break that they took. And I'll, of course, include El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, in that ranking as well. So El Camino, Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, Season 5A, Season 5B, and then I'll probably rank my top 10 favorite episodes. I'm 95% sure I'm able to do that. It'll be in my normal rotation. You know what days videos on my channel come out. I do, unless a UFC event happens where I have 5 fight reactions. And then it'll be a break from the Breaking Bad universe. Not for a long time, though. As soon as I'm done reviewing every single episode of Lucifer and any final videos I do after that, Better Call Saul will take the place of Lucifer on this channel. And then as far as when my Breaking Bad content ends, which won't be much longer for this particular run, I'll be doing Lost. So, you've heard everything I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, or this movie, El Camino, or Breaking Bad movie, then I want you to Hulk smash the like button. Otherwise, Heisenberg will come after you. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on El Camino or Breaking Bad movie, your thoughts on Breaking Bad, your thoughts on Better Call Saul. Interact with me and the legendary Crazy Coffee Man. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. Click right here for my original original El Camino thoughts and anything else that you want to see. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.